So I turned the TV on. Mind you, it's not just this couple. There's like 4 or 5 people looking at the house. This couple just suggested I turn the game on because I'm chatting with them.
Sure.
Turn it on. Full-blown porn.
Oh my God. I did not think you were going to go. Oh,
what do you think I was going to say? Literally full on. I'm like, oh my God.
You're pressing
immediately
every button,
trying to press all the buttons, off. Sound on, everything. Literally.
No.
Like, it comes on. Yes.
No.
I was mortified. There was no kids around, but I was dying. But what makes it even more awkward?
Oh, no.
The house I was holding open was another agent who no longer doesn't work in the industry anymore. I think they like moved out of state. So he was an agent in our company, and I knew him.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Behind the Lockbox. I'm Stephanie Zalowski. Cam is gone today, but she will be back in a couple weeks. But today, we have Lindsay Shoff with us. By the way, that's her married name.
By the way, I never legally changed it.
Well, but on your voicemail, it says Shoff.
I know.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to say Shoff and not.
Yeah.
How do you say your maiden name?
Arellano.
Arellano. Oh, there is an L in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Shoff was easier for me, so that's what I put. Okay.
It's okay.
Lindsay is an agent with Pacific Sotheby's International Realty, and we have known Lindsay for years. We've actually been plotting to have you on here for quite a while, but you know, you're like a mom and running a business, and so, you know, it's a lot. She is partners with Donna Madrea, a mom to an adorable little girl. And I know you have stories for us because I've known you for a very long time. So Lindsay, welcome to Behind the Lockbox.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here. Okay. When you walked in, by the way, thank you for humoring me with the travel mic. I know before we started recording, she said she wants to do karaoke. So maybe I make you bust out a tune, you know, you just never can tell.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Same. Nobody wants to hear it. Have you ever been to karaoke for a cause? Did you hear about that?
No, I see it.
Okay. We just had the event and I was one of the judges and I was like, I am not getting up to sing. I am not getting up to sing.
And you got up to sing?
Of course I did.
Wait, who won? What are you judging?
So nothing. I was ready to hold up signs and have a whistle. And like, I was like, guys, next year I need like numbers.
Oh, that's so funny.
But they had poppers. And so you could like, it was like glitter everywhere. And like, it was really, really fun.
Was anybody really good?
Yes.
Really?
Oh my God. There was this one girl and actually, my friend Bree, I think it was her interior designer or her professional organizer. She got up and sang like 5 songs. Girl can bust out a tune.
Okay, so it's not just agents.
No,
okay.
It could be honestly anybody. I had a couple clients come.
Oh, fun.
And then there's like agents and there's affiliates and then there's like, it's mostly industry people. But it was so fun. We raised like almost 20 grand, like that's 15 awesome. Plus grand for the NICU. So that was really cool.
I need to come. I'll go next year.
Yeah, you should.
Michelle Dexter always invites me.
Oh, she was there. And actually she was there. Rachel was there. And that's where we plotted. Rachel's coming on next week. So that was really fun. So, and Michelle said she's going to do it. She's never done a podcast and she was like so nervous. And then she did one for the women's club recently. So she sends me a text and she's like, I'm a pro now. I can come on and I have stories for you. I'm
like,
have
a lot of stories.
I know she will. I'm like, we're going to do a 2-parter with her. Anyway,
the first deal I ever did was with Michelle. She took me under her wing and was kind of my mentor. But
oh my God.
Yeah.
I really love her. Okay. Yeah. Well, when you walked in, I asked you, we've talked and kind of plotted this for a while.
Yeah.
Let's start with the story. I don't know what you're going to say, but it was an awkward open house story, which I can only imagine. So go ahead, take it away.
Okay. I was a newer agent, so I was doing open houses every weekend, right?
Okay.
And you're just taking any open house that you can get 100%. At that point. You know, now now I'm more like, is this my listing? You know, I know you're not as desperate.
Is it worth it? Like,
yes,
is it even worth my time?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what makes it, okay, well, let me just tell the story. So, it's football Sunday.
Okay.
Right. So you get in, you set up, you get the house ready, you know, typically I turn on music, whatever. I'm setting up
the ambiance.
Yeah. Just like typical open house.
Yeah.
I'm setting up. People start coming through. I didn't think, obviously, now an experienced agent, I would always turn on the game, right?
Sure.
People love that. They want to see that at open house. I can't do that. So
especially if you're able to get it on their TV and it's not like vacant with no televisions or whatever. Yeah.
So people come through and I have this one young couple coming through checking out. They're like, why isn't the game on? And I'm like, oh my gosh, great idea. Yeah, let me turn the game on for you. That's so smart. So I go to turn the TV on and it's like someone else's house, right? So
so this is not vacant and staged.
No.
Okay, so this was owner occupied. They were gone for the open house for the day. Okay.
Yes, completely. Yes. And it's all their
I think
stuff.
I know where this is going.
Yeah. And so you also don't know how to use people's equipment, So like when you turn a TV on or turn on the radio, I'm always like messing with the buttons.
Because it could be like if they don't have cable and they stream, you have to like, where's the Apple remote or like whatever. I mean, it's so different now. And then back in the day, people had surround sound. So they have like 3 remotes like sitting on the coffee table and you're like,
which one is it? And you're pressing every single button.
Everyone to try to turn anything on.
This was like 17 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Like yeah. I've been licensed for a while. So anyways, I don't know how to work their stuff. I don't know how to do anything. So I turned the TV on. Mind you, it's not just this couple. There's like 4 or 5 people looking at the house. This couple just suggested I turn the game on because I'm chatting with them.
Sure.
Turn it on. Full blown porn.
Oh my God. I did not think you were going to.
What do you think I was going to say? Literally full on. I'm like, oh my God.
You're pressing
immediately trying to press all the buttons, off. Sound on, everything. Literally.
No.
It comes on. Yes.
No.
I was mortified. There was no kids around, but I was dying. But what makes it even more awkward.
Oh no.
The house I was holding open was another agent who no longer doesn't work in the industry anymore. I think they like moved out of state. So he was an agent in our company, and I knew him. Like literally.
Oh.
So after fumbling around for a minute, the guy was really funny that had asked me to turn the game on.
Was he like trying to help you like figure it out? And I'm sure you guys are like, bah! And like laughing and trying to like.
It was just me. This isn't I was by myself. So yes, no, I was dead. I was mortified. Mortified. And you can't say anything. So we got it off, obviously, and got the game on. Thanks to this guy.
I thought you were going to say you turn on the game and then these people just like make themselves at home and like sit on the couch for the rest of the open house, or like you found them in the bedroom or something. No. I don't know. No. I did not. I would have. I don't even know what I would have been sweating. I would have been,
it was awful. But it was even more awkward because I knew the person whose house it was. It wasn't just like a client, or in the beginning when you're a new agent, like sometimes you don't know the client because you're holding it open.
Okay, so basically you're holding open. Was it his listing and his house he was selling?
It was the homeowner. Yes.
So he was selling his own home basically, which is why he wasn't holding it open. He had some.
Yes.
Was he married?
No.
Oh
no.
God.
No.
Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah.
Wait, will I know who this is?
You might. I'll tell you.
You're going to tell me later.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. How long have you been?
10 years?
You'll know there's a connection. So you'll.
I can't wait. Yeah, don't tell me now because I don't want to have to cut it out. That's more editing for me and Luis. Okay.
No. I would never, ever put this. I would never throw it.
God.
Yeah. So it was super awkward.
So then the rest of the open house, the game is playing, but you have yet to forget.
Oh, and then like he comes home and he's like, how's the open house? And I'm like, great.
Fantastic.
I can't even
put the football game on for you. I wouldn't
in the eyes.
I would never be able to look in the eye.
I can't even look at you.
I would never. I would literally be like, it was good, as I'm like running out the door. Like
that day forward, every time I saw him, I was like, oh my God. Because then you're like, when he saw the TV on, did he remember that he had that on, or did he not know?
I mean,
and who watches porn in their living room? Like,
isn't that living room like a savage? Like what? Did he have a lady friend over or a male friend? No judgment. Like, was it a party? Was it just himself? Yeah. I have questions that I don't want answers to. Yeah. I don't want answers, but I have questions.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm trying to think when I turn off the TV, there's been times where I turn it back on and I'm like, why isn't it turning? I'm like, oh, Apple TV was on before, and I'm like switching it back to cable. Yes, I still have cable like a boomer. Nobody come for me. But like, but it's never been that. Yeah. Like, or you get in a car. Have you seen those like videos on Instagram where they're like reenacting and they like get in the car and all of a sudden the music is blaring and they're like, ah!
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm not the same person I was at 10 o'clock last night.
Yes.
And maybe it's like
that all the time.
I actually do too. So maybe it's like that situation, but like, how can you, I think if it were me, I would have been like, oh my God, she turned on the TV. I hope everything was, or did he just like thought it was turned off?
I have no idea. There was literally like, no, he acted like it was like, oh, you got the game on. I'm like, yeah, I got to go. Do you want to turn it off?
In that moment, he was probably like, he was like,
open house was great.
Open house was great. Lots of,
Do you want to do it again next weekend? No, I'm good.
No, I'm good. I can't. I don't know.
Can't even make eye contact with you.
I don't even know what else I'll find in your house. So you know what? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
It
was so awkward.
I was not prepared for that. I was not prepared for that.
I know.
That's okay.
Neither was I when it happened. Okay.
That's like somebody came on a long time ago. This was like last year. And they're like, we walked into a vacant house and my client was like, Ashley, or who, I don't remember who the agent was at this moment. And they opened the door and it's just like a room stacked floor to ceiling dildos, porn paraphernalia. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And they were just like, and it, by the way, the agent on the thing was like, buyer responsible for clearing the house out. And it was like, that was the only room that had stuff in it. It's like, what do you mean? No, have a drunk person come and clear all this out. And where is the owner? And why did he leave all this? Like, I have questions.
Yeah.
Like,
and why did you have all that? Like, are you
an
selling
entire
it? Or
room?
Are you a collector?
Clearly a collector, but like, did the person die?
Like that.
And they left all that? I guess. I mean, a couple people have said they've walked in and found like just things displayed or bed unmade and things in the bed and used condoms. And it's like, you guys are disgusting.
I have seen many things displayed for sure. Like many things.
So it's like you're collecting. Do you use it and then you clean it, put it back on the shelf? Like I need to. I need questions. I need questions. I have answers.
Like when you're showing a tenant occupied house, like this kind of stuff, I understand more. But when you're the owner, it's just so awkward
because I feel like
what's going on. Like tenants don't care.
And you know you have a showing.
That's what I'm saying. Like you know what's going on. A tenant's like, who cares?
And that's the thing. A couple people like Betty Tasha came on a month or two ago, and she had a client. He was the seller. The day she walked in for their first showing, the house looked like a bomb had gone off. Condoms everywhere, alcohol bottles. Like she was like, first of all, I'm not your maid, so clean up. And it wasn't like she called him in 5 minutes. It was like he was at work and didn't clean up, and she was like, hey, I have a last minute showing. Can I run by? He knew this 3 days prior and still did. Like what?
Don't you think though? I find this very common. Like we make beds. Like I clean up animal pee and poop constantly. I've like had a dead rat that I've had to shovel and throw over a fence. Like,
no, it ain't glamorous.
Yeah. I mean,
we're also not your maid. And
but you're also like, you're not going to show a house that
Betty was picking up used condoms
gonna do it.
with tongs in a paper bag. Like, and I would have done the same thing because you can't have that sitting out.
No.
I would have been pissed. I would have put those tongs right back in his little thing and been like, yeah, cook with those later. Asshole.
I'm not even gonna wash them.
No, I absolutely would not, because you just made me pick. I would have been like dry heaving the entire time. Like,
it's amazing what we do.
It is amazing. And like, I mean, Ashley Renfrey came on last year. She was early on in the podcast, and she was like, every time she went, just dog shit all over these Persian rugs constantly. You can't not show it. Like, and then and I find I'll run out to my car and get my little thing of perfume, and I'm running through the house, like, spraying my Chanel because I don't want it to stink like cat pee.
Donna always has like everything. She has like paper towels, toilet paper. She, when they like,
I have a kit in the back of my car. Toilet paper, paper towels, Febreze.
But she always has
that. I have a little kit in the back of my car because like you never know where you're going to be. And I should probably just put like cleaner in there too for like when you go. But anytime it's my listing, I always bring that stuff. So like I have a little kit under the sink and extra toilet paper just in case when it's vacant stage. Do you know what I mean?
It's always the same. It's your client, so you know the messy house you're going to walk into.
Exactly.
So you get there 30 minutes early.
Exactly.
You know that these dogs poop all over the carpet, so you're going to be cleaning it up. Like you come prepared after the first time it happens.
It just is wild to me.
I know how people live.
I'll never get over it. I mean, you're in my house right now. Like it's
beautiful.
I could never.
Clean. I know.
I could, and I have a dog. You would never know.
No.
Yeah. She's not here right now, but she's little. Anyway, mine is the dog bowls behind you. Yeah. I tucked her away. I hit her. Just kidding. She's hiding. Yeah. Okay. So you have another story. You have two. Which one do you want to start with?
Well, I can tell. I'll start with this new agent vibe again.
Okay.
That was what I was doing with the open house. So
back in the day.
Really fast.
Okay.
But yes, back in the day when I was a new agent, I like would never go to Reba because I didn't think it was important. I was also like 24.
Sure.
So I was like, oh, you want me to get up at 8:00 and go to this meeting?
That's early.
But Reba used to be at 9. Remember when Reba used to start at 9?
No, it starts at 9 now. It used to be 8.
Sorry.
It used to be 8 or 8:30. Okay. And I remember after COVID.
Caravan started at 9.
Yes.
That's where I'm getting confused.
I remember
Yeah.
I was literally like, I actually
that was early.
It is so early.
So
For
early.
people who are like, look, I'm up. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but then you have to like shower. You have to. It's
To
just
be
it's a lot.
it's
a lot.
If anyone is like, can you be somewhere 8 a.m.? I'm like,
That's hard.
absolutely not.
Yes.
10 a.m. I will meet
Yes.
you there. Like that is a start
So
time.
when I was new, I was like, who needs to go to Reba?
Yeah.
Like Michelle Dykstra would call me every Wednesday
She's like, you
morning
need to
and
be
like,
there.
get to Reba. And I was
Yeah.
like, I was at Taco Tuesday last night. Like, I can't go to Reba today.
I mean, Brett did the same thing for me. He would make me go. He made me pitch early on.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm thankful for them.
Yes.
Because people got to know us.
Yeah.
And that room is terrifying.
Yeah.
But I respect the institution of
Yes.
it. And now we know everybody there and I
Yeah.
can get up and it's like, no
It's not a
problem.
problem.
But like when you're new,
Yeah.
it's not only scary, but it was really early.
And you don't know anyone.
You don't.
Right? So,
And God forbid you sit in someone's chair.
oh, well.
You did, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Oh, good girl. I did
No.
not either. I was
No.
warned.
No,
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was warned too. But so I had gone a couple times, I think with Michelle, but I was not consistent. So I'm
Sure.
like, this one morning on my own, I'm like, I'm going to go on my own. I got this. Michelle's like, I'm not going to Reba today or whatever. So I had she was my only real estate friend at that point. I've been in this business literally 3 months at this time.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I go and this random agent comes up to me and he's like, hey, do you want a caravan with me? Again, I'm telling all these stories and I'm like telling on people. Like I can't say the name.
It's okay. Do I know this person? Is he still around?
He, again, doesn't do a lot of business. It's not like somebody that we know because you'll know when I tell this story.
Okay. You can tell me later. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he does. I mean, I don't even think he's licensed anymore. I don't know if I don't know what he does.
But he just like randomly came up to you and was like, hey, you want to go?
Do you want a caravan with me?
So for anyone who out there who's not an agent listening that doesn't know what that is, basically every Wednesday we have a broker association meeting where we go and we pitch new listings, coming soons, whatever. And then there's a broker caravan where we all go out and see, it's broker open houses basically for us to see new listings. Maybe we have a client for it. We tour these houses. It's like 2-hour open house.
Yeah.
Whatever. So
we know the inventory.
The caravan, exactly. And the caravan is basically once we have the meeting, everyone disperses in your own cars and then you go to whatever listings you want to see. So he was like, hey, you want to come with me on caravan?
Yeah. Well, because a lot of people go together, right? Like you have a caravan group if you can.
Yeah.
So I did not have a caravan group
Like
at
Nick
this
always
time.
tries to hitch a ride with you guys.
Yeah.
Like the little
All the
freeloader.
time. Yeah. Like, is there room for you? Maybe.
Maybe. In the trunk, Nick.
Yeah,
that's where you
that's
belong. Anyway, we love
Make
you.
him sit in the third row.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
I love him so much.
I know. I knew him before real estate too.
You did?
Yeah. We used to hit the La Jolla bar circuit.
Last night. We did it last night too. So, you know.
Sounds fun.
Sounds fun.
Call me next time.
Oh my God. We did not. We did not.
okay.
But like Nick is always like, let's go. We need to get, what did he say? We need to drink a whiskey. And I was like, okay, first of all, calm down. It is a Tuesday and I can't hang. So that's number one. Anyway.
He has a kid too, though. So when you have a kid, you're
He
always
does.
Like, is it happy hour yet?
He does.
How
That's
you
fair.
survive. And then you go to bed at
fair.
like 9.
See, and I don't have a kid, so I'm also going to bed at 9.
Well, then you should just join our group. You have a dog. That's like a big responsibility.
I mean, thank you.
It
It is. And
I know.
she's a lot,
Yeah.
you know? My neighbor next door, we're going out on Saturday. She's like, okay, you want to go out? We're going to, I was thinking the place doesn't get too busy till like 9 or 10. And I whipped around. And by the way, Rob Brown, Daniel Albrecht, Dylan Moore, they all listen to this podcast. We're on a Motley Crue group text together with Vidi Ravelli. And they were like, hey, you guys want to go downtown like 9 p.m.? And I was like, first of all, I don't smoke crack cocaine.
No.
Okay. Second of all, no. Same thing with my neighbor. I was like, you mean 6?
Yeah.
You meant dinner and drinks at 6 and then maybe
Everyone's
we hit
home
one
by
bar?
9?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
she was like, I mean, okay, by the way, she's my age, but she can drink and I can't. And I'm like, one drink and I can't have more than 2.
We went to Vegas recently to see Garth Brooks.
I saw him here at Petco.
Okay, so I like your because I'm the same way. But it was the Garth Brooks concert at Caesars.
You have to go. Yes, amazing.
It started at 8:30. We were like,
I wonder. I think the Garth Brooks concert here started. Well, there's a noise, so no, it might have been like a 7.
no, it was like
Is he not
8:30.
just the
amazing?
best?
And he's so funny. And Trisha Yearwood came out. And sang
Oh
with them.
my God, I know she did here too. It was. They're my favorite.
But I was out till midnight in Vegas.
Oh,
and I was
no.
like, oh, I'm so tired. And then we
no.
literally went home and went to bed. And all of us the next day were like, have you ever come home that early in Vegas?
No, never. I haven't been to Vegas since my early 30s because I grew up in Arizona. So Vegas was like a hop, skip, and a jump. In my 20s, there was a couple years there where I would go to Vegas in a 12-month rolling period like 6 times. Disgusting.
Ow.
Partied my ass. I don't
Ow.
know. I don't know how I'm still here. Like,
You
I
should
remember
go
those
now as
hangovers.
a, like adult because
I'm actually going next month.
okay.
Yeah. But for work, but they're also having like an after party. And I was
you're
like,
going to have a blast.
"Ooh."
No, because guess what?
I know I can
You'll
control
wake up in the
myself.
morning and you'll be like, oh, let's go eat breakfast somewhere yummy. Let's do
have a
something.
coffee before anyone else is awake and
it's
go
amazing.
shopping. I'm actually pretty pumped.
I went shopping. And you know what you do now because we're old? You go to lunch, like go to Milos and just do like a long wine lunch
love it.
for 2 hours.
I love it.
And then you just like hang
like
out
you're
for a
in
little bit,
Italy.
shop, and you go to bed at like 9.
Yeah.
Actually,
Down.
I like Vegas now. I'm going again in October to see the Eagles at the Sphere.
Oh,
And I'm
I
so
haven't
old school.
been yet. No,
My
I love
music
that.
taste is terrible. It's like
No.
country, classic rock, or gangster rap. That's my
Well, that's pretty much where I live as well. We're in our 40s. I mean, it's what we grew up on. Like they don't make music like that
100%.
anymore. Yeah.
So I'm going again, and I'm excited because it's like we're going to do early dinner and watch the show, and then go home and go to bed.
Yeah. I mean, okay, well, I'll let you know how it is. I will.
'cause you're gonna see it's different.
I'm going to be like
gonna
pretty
like
pumped
it.
to be like in my robe and like, I'm staying in a pretty nice hotel. Like it's
gonna
going
like
to
it.
it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Alone.
Yeah.
It's going to be wonderful.
It's nothing better than a nice hotel room alone.
Oh my
It
God.
never happens to me anymore.
Oh yeah, I could see that. But anyway, okay, I have no idea what we were talking about. See, I told you this would happen.
Yeah. Oh, my caravan story. Okay. So,
Wow. Wait a minute.
Okay.
We started with Reba and Caravan and got all the way to Vegas. This is welcome to the shit show, everybody.
You're right.
Like, yeah,
literally.
Yeah.
And
if
also,
anyone is
watch out for me because I'll just
same.
Yeah.
Same. And if Cam was here, I mean, yeah. Okay. Anyway, this is
Okay. So I don't know this guy.
Okay.
I'm a new agent.
Never met him.
Who are you? He's
Nothing.
like, I'll take you on caravan. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's go on caravan. Great. I'm
Right.
single, 24 again.
Sure.
Was I 24? Yeah. So we get the list and we look at like 2 houses.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. And he's nice. He's not like hitting on me or being a weirdo.
Sure.
I was like, oh, this guy's totally going to
But you're like,
be a weirdo.
this could be fun. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be alone.
100%.
Like, great.
Like, great. And maybe I don't know, maybe he's a nice agent. He can.
I used to love going to caravan with people. Now I don't like to. I just like to go by myself. Everyone's like, I'm like, no.
I like my caravan group though. We've been caravanning for years.
I need to come with you guys. Actually, I just need to jump in
It's
Donna's
like
car.
we catch up.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. You know, like I love our
Fair.
little group.
I
But-
agree.
So anyways, after like the second or third house, he's like, hey, I just live right here on La Jolla Boulevard. Do you want to like stop? Do you want to come into my house? Like I'm in a band. He's telling me how he's in a band.
Oh, boy.
And my dad's a musician. So I'm
Okay.
like, oh, totally. I totally grew up band brat. Like I love music. I listen to like music. My dad, and he's like, yeah, we've recorded. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then so he's like, let's stop by my house and like, do you want to stop by my house and just like listen to my band? One of the houses we were seeing was like kind of close by. So I'm like, I guess, because at that point it like felt awkward.
What are you supposed to
I don't know.
say?
Like, no, I don't want to listen to your band. We're caravanning. We're very serious. Like, no. He's probably like 10 years older than me.
Okay.
And so I'm like, all right, I guess. Like I'm thinking, okay, we're parked 2 houses away. Your house is 2 houses down. We'll walk in and like go see it.
Right. At least you're not like stuck in a car with just him going to his house at God knows where.
Well,
okay.
we walk over, and so I'm like, all right, we go in, and he like, it's, mind you, caravan is at like 9. It's like 9:30, 10 in the morning.
Truly.
We get in the
like
house.
need another coffee. Like
And
we're
he's-
not even awake yet.
Right. So he's like, hey, let's like listen to the music. So we're listening to the music, and then I look over, and he's like, do you want a bong hit?
Behind the Lockbox is sponsored by Property Showcase Group. Property Showcase Group has a team of creatives, directors, producers, editors, marketing specialists, and designers that work in tandem to tell and share stories of the built environment. Whether you're looking for full-service production or simply just need content creation, Property Showcase Group can help take your business to the next level. To learn more or to contact Property Showcase Group to schedule a consultation, you can find them at propertyshowcasegroup.com. That's spelled PROPERTYSHOWCASEGROUP.com. PropertyShowcaseGroup.com. I'm back to talk about our sponsor and producer, Property Showcase Group. This is for all my agent and affiliate friends out there. Property Showcase Group has a special offer for you. The first 3 agents to email Property Showcase Group at teampsg@propertyshowcasegroup.com will get 1 month free of social media management using code LOCKBOX. That's right, 1 month free. And they're offering 20% off your first video production using code LOCKBOX. For more information, contact Property Showcase Group at teampsg@propertyshowcasegroup.com, and don't forget to use code LOCKBOX or mention this podcast. And this is why he didn't do any deals.
Am I allowed to even say this?
Yes.
I don't even know. I know
Yes.
I've listened to this before. So.
Yes, you can say whatever you want.
Literally, I'm all, what? do I want a bong hit? I'm all, first of all, it's 9:30 in the morning. No, we're in the middle of Caravan and he's playing his band.
Now you're like, no, this is serious. I have to go.
Rips, like, and I'm like, okay, this is not what I signed up for. I'm like, and so he's getting totally high in the middle, like at 9 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I'm not in college anymore, so this is kind of a little bit appalling. Like, I'm like, okay.
Yes. And like, look, again, as I alluded to before, I partied my face off until I was like 32 and then I couldn't handle the hangovers anymore.
Right.
Plus, line is
I'm
drawn.
sorry, you're going to get stoned and then go look at all these houses with all these.
And also, I'm not getting in the car with you after you just got stoned.
All of it. It was so crazy. No, so I ended up, he like wanted to stay and party. Like he was like going to smoke his weed and like listen to the music. And I'm like, I got to finish Caravan. He's like, yeah, I'm over it. I'm like,
I'm going to walk home. It was really nice to meet you. Jesus. I mean,
literally, I was like, did that just happen?
I
like,
cannot wait to hear both of these names. I probably don't know them if it's been that long, but
you might. But it was one of those things where I was just like, is this real? Like, oh my God, thank God. I obviously like never went out with him again. And
does Don know this story?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I'm sure.
That's so good.
I mean, because again, I probably told it on Caravan.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
With our group.
Because
like, remember the first week Lindsay Caravan and she went with so-and-so and he tried to make her take bong rips?
Yeah, and she got high on Caravan. Yeah. Like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
No, I had to walk home. I lived in Bird Rock at the time, so I was close. We were on the Loy Boulevard.
Okay, fair. That's like not too bad, but you're just like, also my car's back at Reba. I need to Uber back to my car. We didn't have Uber back then.
Uber.
No, you were bumming a ride from someone.
So anyways.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I've come a long way from Caravan.
Let's do a time check. Okay. We have a little bit of time. You have one more story. I've come a long way from Caravan.
I've come a long way. Come a long way. I've got my group. I feel safe. No one's asking me to take bong rips in this group. We're just getting coffee.
Next time I see Nick and you guys, I'm going to walk up to Nick and be like, see if she wants to take a bong hit.
Oh yeah,
let's go to the car.
He knows the story,
so I'm surprised he hasn't been like Lindsay.
I'm surprised it's not him, right?
I know it's Nick. You're like, it was actually Nick, and he wasn't even real estate, and he just showed up to these meetings like a creep.
That long.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I think Nick and I started together actually.
Really?
Yeah, at Sotheby. So we've been almost 9 years. It's been like 8.5. Yeah.
Has it really?
Can you believe it?
Oh my God.
Yeah. I think we were in the same we were in the same mentor program.
Everybody called me and said he was going to be starting and I was like, you have to join Sotheby.
Yeah. And started at the same time. Yeah. Yep. We were in Lupe's like mentor program.
Lupe.
Sotheby is back in the you guys are still there. Mm-hmm. Things are good, right? I mean,
we love it.
Like top dog. Like what else are you?
I love it. I mean, there was change and people always want to like run when there's change.
But that's the time to not run.
And, yeah.
Like, I mean, even when during COVID, like when Steve sold the company, we stayed. You know what I mean? A lot of people jumped ship at that point, and it wasn't until 3 years ago that Compass came.
We also, when Steve sold Prudential, and it became Berkshire, we weren't there when it was Berkshire. But then when he got brought on with Sotheby's, he recruited Donna and went over with her.
Yeah. Where were you before?
We were Prudential.
Oh, you were.
So it was called Prudential.
Yes, because he hadn't sold it to Warren yet, and then it became Berkshire once Warren.
And he had a non-compete for like 5 years.
Correct.
He got back in with Sotheby's, and then we came over, and yes, we stayed. And I love it. I mean, we're happy. It's good company.
Listen,
they're all good. Compass is
they
good too.
are, and we would not have necessarily moved. It just was the right thing for us to do at the right time. Yeah. We were ready for a change. There was some more change happening, and we were just like, let's try something different.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely, I mean, you see these people that jump ship in brokerages constantly.
All the time.
Like, first of all, it's such a pain.
Yeah. Like,
you have to change.
Do that.
I don't.
Especially if you're like in the middle of a deal or doing something like it. And you have to deal with all of it.
Do you know how many listings we had that we had to
transfer over? We had to do that. It's annoying.
And it was kind of a fight because
yeah.
Who's
like, going to keep it?
Who's does it go? Anyway. Okay. All right. Third story.
Okay, this one. Okay, so this is a little bit more serious. This is safety.
We talk about this a lot.
Super creepy experience. I feel like I got so lucky in this situation.
Oh, Linz.
So this was in like Fairbanks, not Fairbanks Ranch, but it's called Fairbanks Highlands Estates. So they're like bigger properties. It's like every property is almost a half acre to an acre. They all have like swimming pools and big areas. Someone had called off.
Were you with Donna at this time? Okay.
And someone had called off like I don't know, like an
ad or something.
Yeah, it wasn't like It obviously was not a buyer represented by an agent. They were calling on their own.
Which happens a lot.
Yes, all the time. And so we're both very safe, right? Like,
yes,
we talk about, okay, I'm going to be here. Do we know this person? No, let's call, so it was that whole thing. And this is a guard gated community. So you have to be called in. So there's a guard there.
Right.
And I didn't know him. I knew it was just a man on his own. No, it was supposed to be him and his wife. That's what it was.
So of course, then you're like, let's go. When you know there's going
to be him and his wife,
right? And you don't feel like anything is out of miss at that point.
You don't feel as on guard.
No.
So we get there. It's just me though doing the showing.
Okay.
And the wife isn't there. And right when he gets out, I just had a bad feeling. Like, you always want to trust your gut.
Like,
right.
Say it for the louder for the people in the back. Like, listen to
if something
your gut.
feels off, it probably is.
If you're having a visceral reaction, or if you have the slightest inclination that something is amiss, it very well could be, and you need to listen to that.
People are always afraid of like offending someone or hurting their feelings, but like you have to
not
get
at the expense of my safety.
100%. You have to get over that. So I was like, the wife's not here. So I went up and introduced myself, like shook his hand. I don't know, a little sketchy. He was like getting in his trunk, looking through some stuff. When he saw me, he like closed the trunk and came over. So that was like a little odd, right?
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. You could be putting I don't know. Sometimes I would put my purse in my trunk, I guess.
Right, but he doesn't have
he's
a
a
purse.
Yeah, exactly. So
did he have anything in his hand?
No.
Okay.
No. If that had, so I'm like, ugh.
He's like, what else? A rope and a trash bag. I'm just going to take this inside. Like,
that's what I use.
I just carry this around. It's my emotional support bag.
And he got there a little bit early because I didn't have time to go in and open the house.
Okay, so when you pulled up, he was already sitting outside.
Me.
Okay.
Which I don't like either.
No.
So I have this thing where I always let them go in first if I don't have this kind of a situation so that I'm by the door, they're not behind me.
Let's talk about that for a second. So this is very important.
Yeah.
I talked about this last week or the week before. My dad gave me a book called The Gift of Fear. It was a very difficult read, but I am very situationally aware. Again, we're single women out a lot. Yes, you're married and you have a kid. It's even more important when your daughter is with you. Yeah. You need to be aware of your surroundings. I am always scanning. I am always looking around when I get in my car. The first thing I do when I get in my car is lock the door.
Yeah.
Immediately. My doors do not open. Only the driver's side door opens. And when I get in, I lock it. Like none of my other doors open. When you're walking into a property as an agent, you need to let them go first. I don't care if the lights aren't on. Your back you do not need to be positioned where there is no out for you. And in some properties, if it's a small condo or something like that, there's one way in and one way out, and you need to know where that exit is. I know that this may sound dramatic to some. It is not. No. And I've had male podcast guests be like, wow, I've never thought about that. I'm like, yeah, because you've never had to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
And it just is what it is, but we need to be aware, and people need to know where you are at all times.
I'm such a weirdo. When I go into the grocery store, I'm always like checking everyone out because I'm so scared of like.
I'm not even scared. I'm just like, I'm aware.
I am so I don't know. This is going to like go off on a tangent.
No, it's okay.
I shouldn't bring up, but like, just with like shootings and stuff, like I am so fearful of that. Right. So
we have to be. It is the world that we live in.
If I see someone that seems off around me, I'm always like, oof, let's get out of here. I don't like this. Like I very much pay attention.
On an airplane, I'm always looking at my, Yeah.
One time Johnny and I were at Costco. You like freak out. You're like, this guy looks suspicious. It was 4th of July weekend.
Oh God.
And we were in the parking lot. And the way he tells the story, we're in the parking lot and somebody must have it was like a firecracker went off, but I thought it was a gun. And I literally hit the ground. No, I literally hit the ground and ducked. And Johnny, of course, he's not me. He did not think that that's what it was.
Right.
He literally knew.
It could have been a car backfire or it could have been a tire exploding.
Like, I go looking for you and I'm like, where the hell, Lindsay, where are you? And
you're under the car.
You're like that. And you're like, dude, it was a firecracker. But then he's like, but nice to know in that situation that you only look out for yourself.
You're right,
You
Johnny.
didn't yell like
Maybe
duck or anything. You just like hit
you didn't even give him any warning. You're like,
a total psycho.
well,
yeah.
you know what?
Yeah.
Listen, Johnny, if you're not going to duck when you hear crazy noises, that's on you, bro.
Yeah,
that's on you.
Hey, each man for
my
themselves.
God.
But
Okay.
anyway,
Okay. So back to the story. So this is just, again, people, please be aware of your surroundings.
And so we're walking in. There's a guest house in the house. So like again, these are big houses. So there's like a guest house,
right?
And so immediately I say, "Oh, the painter's here, so he might be in the guest house." It's a total lie.
Good girl.
But this guy
Good girl.
is creeping me out.
Good
so I'm
girl.
like, he needs to think somebody else is here.
Yep.
So I said, "Oh, I apologize. The painter might be here in the guest house. So, if there's," I said, "The painter is here. He might be in the guest house." That's what it was, because I wanted him to know
that you're not alone on the property.
Right. But I was kind of panicking, and I was like, "Oh, just feels wrong." So we walk into the guest house.
I hate that feeling.
And normally I'm like so on it. And I went ahead of him for whatever reason. Maybe because I got confident because I said that. I don't know. But I also was like in my head a little bit.
Yeah.
So I walked in, and he walked in behind me and closed the door immediately to the guest house. And so I immediately, literally didn't turn the lights on, went right behind him, opened the door, stood outside, and said, "You can go ahead and take a look."
Good girl.
And he kind of looked at me. I don't know. And this, he could have been fine, but something was off. And so he went and looked around, and I was like, what am I going to do? I don't want to take this guy into the house. Everything feels weird. I had my phone. I was going to text, but I looked in the back, and the pool guy was there cleaning the pool.
Oh, thank God.
I was like, okay.
We're not alone.
So I said,
we're not alone.
I said, I'm going to let you look at this. I have to go tell the pool boy something.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out there, and I said, I'm doing a showing. I don't know this person. He's weird. Can you please stay here and just be like, maybe come in the house, be aware? He was like, no problem.
I love
Came in.
that.
No, but if he wasn't there, I'm like, what would I have done? Would I have just said, oh, I don't have the key, or you know what? Like, I have
you would have
go.
thought of something.
Yeah, because it was so off.
Sometimes what I do is act like I'm taking a phone call, and then I would have called Brett,
somebody,
or I would call Donna, or whoever.
Well, so immediately I called her and was like, the wife didn't show up, and she was like, oh my God, you just call me.
Yeah,
you should have just said I can't do the showing. And
right,
away. I mean, nobody cares. Like everyone.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And if a
not.
seller or any buyer is going to get pissed off, sorry, my life is not worth that.
Yeah, and he was just weird. And obviously
or my life is worth that. Me losing my life, or me being afraid, or something happening is not worth it. Exactly. It's not.
And it was funny too, because like once the pool guy was there, we toured the house quickly, and then he was just done, and we never heard from him ever again. So it's like, you just don't know.
No, and again, to never follow up. And then did he get like, how was his demeanor? Was he like trying to flirt, or was he? No, he was just weird and like quiet. And then did he seem to be annoyed or anything when the pool guy was there?
That's why he was very quick at his. Once that happened, he walked through kind of quickly.
Where did the pool guy go? Did he just like come inside and like?
Yeah, he stayed in the kitchen. Like I was like, will you just come in the house? Because I didn't want him outside either.
Right.
I just felt like that was, and it was a single level ranch, so
okay, that's good.
A lot of the house, and then I didn't
follow him.
No,
you were like, go say look there. I gotta help him with something. Like, right.
Yeah, that was my thing, because it was at that point I was like, just do your thing and get out. But he was in the house maybe 5 minutes,
and then he was gone.
4,000 square foot single level,
and then he left.
Anyone interested is this showing's
take some
gonna
time,
be 30 minutes,
right?
Minimum,
right.
Anyone interested is probably going to be a little bit longer,
right.
So he was quick, and then we never heard from him again. It was so weird.
It is weird, and I just can't say it enough. Like, women in this business have to be so careful.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of times where we do get buyers like that, or at open houses. I've told the story, I just told it again recently, where some guy came in and I literally got hot.
Did you walk outside?
I sure did.
That's what I do.
And
we don't do open houses alone anymore.
I don't really. There's been an increase and an uptick in weird things happening, attacks, whatever the case may be.
And theft. Like
my God, that's the other problem.
We've had like pills and stuff stolen.
Oh yeah, so have we.
$10 million listings.
We've had cars broken into in the driveway, and purses taken.
Too. That's funny you say that. I know some of that happened too. Purse was taken right out of the driveway.
Was it an open house here in La Jolla?
No.
So we had our listing on Via Barletta. Do you remember that property? That was so cool. It was also like a 3,000 square foot ranch on the hillside, but the driveway you had to drive down in. And the seller was elderly. And so I was there alone, off and on. I was actually not there this day. I think Brett was there with another teammate, and the woman just left I think they left their door unlocked and just left her freaking Chanel bag sitting on the So somebody must have been waiting for people, was watching people drive down in because it was more secluded and took purses right out of cars. I don't even take my purse with me.
Ours was at an open house and the window was left down and there was a bunch of people coming through. And came and grabbed it.
I put like my cell phone in my back pocket or in my blazer pocket, lip gloss in one pocket, car key in the next pocket. And like I bring in my water bottle and like I rarely even bring my computer because then if I do, I have to carry it with me.
Yeah.
I don't leave anything. So
I'll leave my purse in the trunk. Same thing.
I don't have, we have had like, I feel like I can't hide it well enough because we both have SUVs. I don't. My last one did. I need one of those. I have that. Yeah. I need one of those. Baby stuff back there, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't have strollers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have a dog stroller? Oh, my sister has a dog stroller, but she has a pug.
No, I won't do
it. Like the laziest dog ever.
That's my brother would ridicule me into oblivion if I got a dog stroller.
Ridicules my sister.
Yeah, I'm sure. It was a knock on the door. UPS is here. Oh. Yeah. Hi. I love him. Anyway. Okay. You want to play a game?
Sure.
Okay. Let's play a game. This might incite some stories for you. Okay.
Okay.
So it's called Punch List because I hit you with 3 questions. Isn't that adorable?
Yes.
My brother came up with it.
That's
okay.
Cute.
What is the craziest or pettiest thing that's ever killed or almost killed one of your deals?
Oh God, that's hard to think of right now. The craziest or pettiest thing?
Mm-hmm. Has something almost like not closed because like the buyer don't want to pay for whatever? Like, we've had some crazy stupid stuff.
Well, all the time, but then we just end up getting through it or
you buy the deal or you like pay for it yourself.
You know what? This was a lesson for me actually.
Okay.
Early on. It was my very first listing.
Okay.
And I said that there was air conditioning.
Uh-oh.
And there wasn't.
That was a learning lesson.
Yeah.
So did you have to pay for the HVAC?
Oh, yeah. So the buyer was going to back out because obviously of my mistake.
And you're like, here's $2,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also had an appraiser do an appraisal and there was like 500 unaccounted square feet. And so it wasn't even my buyer. Actually, the lender wouldn't loan on the property regardless.
Because there was probably like unpermitted.
Yeah. Even we were like, what if we reduce the price like based on square footage and they wouldn't do anything.
Still?
Mm-mm. So we had to cancel that.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I can't think of anything
crazy. We've had like
petty.
People fighting over a blanket, like an Hermes blanket or like a refrigerator seal on the fridge was broken and nobody wanted to fix, like stupid.
Well, see.
Where the agent then is like, I will buy you a new, I will pay. And they did. Every agent who has said these things have said they've paid for it.
Incidences though where like my client says, I don't want you to pay for this. So
my friend Brandon came on
negotiation.
Yes.
Where they're like, you are not to pay for this. The other side has to pay for it. I don't care how it gets done, but we're not paying for it. So that's awkward.
So that happened with my friend Brandon with termite and he worked it out with the agent. He's like, I'll give you cash. You act like you're paying for it.
Yeah.
And his clients were friends of his and they found out later he did it and they paid him back. They're like, that was stupid of us. We're sorry.
Yeah.
But like it does happen where the buyer's like, no, I don't want you paying for it. They need it. And they get
caught up.
They draw these lines and they get emotional and they're like, no, we're not doing anything. You're like, yes, you are.
Yeah.
I know. It's
because
insane.
there's so much emotion.
There's so much emotion, which we have to,
One time I was driving, this is back in the day when like you would put your clients in the car and drive them around. Yeah. Thank God we don't do that anymore. It's very rare.
I do some. I just did last week, but
I do with friends.
Yeah. If I know that it's a second, I've done multiple dates with this client.
Comfortable, but let's do it.
Yeah. Hot tip. That's another thing. Don't meet a first time home buyer and put them in your car if it's like you and a man or something. Like, you hear these things though.
Yeah, no.
Don't do that.
I would not do that. I had the whole family in the car and it was like the husband and the wife and the 2 kids.
Are you driving?
Yes.
Okay.
In an area that I don't really know.
So nerve-wracking.
Like, you know, when someone's like, I want to see property in such and such an area.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
Yeah, I sell there all the time.
Yeah. Then you don't have time to go cruise around first and learn it.
Yes.
Like, you know it. You're like, the Bonds is over here.
They're like, that's a route. They're like, that's what I meant.
Whatever. So I didn't have that. So I'm like trying to concentrate. And this is before the days of navigation. Like, I think maybe I had like a Garmin or something. Right. Like, whatever. It's like, what's that book we used to have to look up things up in?
MapQuest. And you're like literally printing directions.
What's that book called?
An almanac?
No, girl. Oh my God. All the old agents know, and I had one for a minute.
But is it the MLS book?
No, it's like you're like R72, and you go like this, and it's come on, it's the map book.
How much older are you than me?
I'm in my 40s too, but I've been licensed a little, like it was
way longer than me.
Right. So you weren't trying to show properties.
No, that sounds
16
wretched.
years ago.
Wretched.
Yeah. And you would look it up in the book, and that's how you would also, you would run comps with a map code. You would type in a map code into the MLS and run your comps that way. I'm really dating myself.
You really are, but like,
but I feel
that kind of sounds efficient though.
So
you've just been in this so much longer. Yeah. You started in your 20s. I started in my 30s.
It was my first job out of college. It's the only thing I've ever done.
Good for
you. But anyways, this was back in the day. I can't believe I can't remember the name of that book. I'm going to remember it. Or if Michelle Dexter comes on, ask her.
I will ask her. I will.
So anyways, they're fighting in the car. The couple starts fighting, because I don't know if you've ever had couples fight.
It's so awkward, and you're just like,
yes, and you have to act like you don't know what you're doing.
But how are you going to step outside when they're in your car?
Fighting in the car, and I'm like listening to them fight, and the dad's like asking me to take his side and asking a question, and I ran a red light with all their kids, and the mom is like, Lindsay, stop, like screaming at me, and I'm like, oh my god,
you're like, I need everyone to calm down, shut up, and let me drive.
I'm like, I can't do this with all your trauma.
Oh my god.
So anyway, sorry, I don't know how that came from the petty thing, but it was
hysterical.
Drama. So
okay, god, okay.
Next,
I really want to know this one. If you could be anything other than a real estate agent, what would you be and why?
It's so easy.
What?
I always wanted to be Katie Couric. I wanted to be like a new, like Jenna and Hoda.
Do you want to be my new co-host?
Literally wanted to
what?
Yeah, I always wanted to like literally interview people.
This is why you love holding this mic in your hand. Well, I'm glad I gave you this mic today and not like, the one that comes out on the boom.
But I love hearing people's stories and getting to know them as well. And that's why I feel like when you're like an investigative journalist,
totally.
That kind of thing. So,
I started in TV.
You did?
In college.
Doing what?
The news. Like I was an intern and yes. And
no wonder you do this.
Everyone's like, this is very full circle for you. I'm like, no, it really is. Like I'm very comfortable in front of a camera with a microphone. Like none of that bothers me. It never has.
Yeah.
But then it became, I was like, wait, I have to move where? And I'm going to make $15,000 a year. Cause again, this is, back in early 2000s. And I was like, no.
Well, it's so rare that you hit that Katie Couric level.
100%. And like it just honestly too, it became more for me like the places you have to move and the shit stories you have to act like you care about to report on, and like you're waiting for someone to die or death and destruction so you can report on it. And I became a little desensitized, and I was like listening to police scanners, like, and I was like, this is not for me. Oh, speaking of my mom's calling, should we tell her that I'm still recording? Anyway, she can tell you all about it. But yeah, I came home and I was like, yeah, I don't think that's going to cut it. If it would have paid more, I would have done it
100%.
But I was like, no. So yeah, I mean, this podcast became like, I'd wanted to do this for like 4 or 5 years, never had the balls, just busy too. And then during COVID, when things actually, it was still COVID, but it was like 2 years ago now, 1.5 years ago, I called Max and Ethan and I was like, I think I want to start. And they're like, let's do it. And I was like, really? And so we just decided to go full bore with it. It's been so fun.
Does it make you miss like doing news and that kind of stuff?
No, but I could see myself doing something like this full time.
Right.
If I was paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
But that's not happening right now. So
yeah,
real estate.
I can't make a lot of money doing this.
I mean, you have to get picked up. Like, so, okay, this is a great segue. I need everyone to download because podcasting, they'll be like, oh, how many downloads do you get like a month or a week or whatever? And people don't download. They're not always downloading. So like if you don't.
Am I downloading what
you might not be. If you follow the show, it should download it automatically. But some people it doesn't. Some people they have it turned off.
But I only do it through Spotify.
Right. And so if it doesn't already, and if it doesn't download to your phone, like I can't see, it'll give me average hours of listening, but like downloads are the measurable thing.
Okay.
So unless you're picked up by like a Podcast One or a Dear Media and all those people that have, it's all A, B, C, D-list celebrities that have these podcasts and they're already somebody.
Yeah.
Podcasters who are nobodies, me, starting from the ground up. My next door neighbor, her sister has a podcast called Be There in 5. Some people may have heard of it. She has been doing this 10 years. She now does it full time, has done it full time for a while, makes a killing, but it took a long time to grow it. I mean, it is a slow burn. It's a really slow burn.
Well, because I feel like if you're not a famous person who's just automatically getting promoted, the other podcasts I listened to were related to things I was going through in my life, right?
100%.
So like when I was trying to have Mila, we did years of IVF. So I would listen to like every IVF, like
and
what
you're
about
trying
this?
to learn things.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that's when exactly. So it's almost like
And if like you have a big
Instagram, to you.
Yes, and if you have a really big Instagram following, I mean, I've only got like under 3,000 followers, right? Like
I'm like terrible at Instagram.
Yeah, and we're elder millennials, like we hate it. I have a love-hate with it. I'm trying to be more diligent. I'm trying to share more. I shared a funny story yesterday. Did you see my stories yesterday?
I don't know.
This lady in Ulta asked me if I wanted eye cream.
I did not. Rude.
Shots fired. Thank you very much. Do I look like I need eye cream? Anyway, we need a wrap. But no, it's okay. Like we'll see what happens, right? Like it could be something in the future where we keep going with it and it does get picked up or something like that. But like really where you make your money are your advertisers. So Max and Ethan Property Showcase Group, they're our sponsors. And so we kind of trade, right? Like I'm paying them to edit it and film it and all this other stuff. But then, you know, they're kind of like getting the word on them too, right?
Right.
We might start having some affiliates come on and I'll do commercials for them and they might pay me a couple $100 a month or whatever it is so that they're getting their word out because more and more people are listening. I mean,
Yep. Yeah.
I'm really pleased. Everywhere I go, I'm finding people that are like, oh my God, I love your and I'm like, really?
Yes, I know.
It's like, so it's been awesome. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So I'm really grateful for everybody.
You're so good at it.
Thank you so much.
You're just a natural.
It's really fun.
Easy to
when
watch.
it's fun and it's easy and it comes natural, like
Both
it's
of
genuine, you know? Yeah.
It's not here, but
both
of you.
Yeah. And it's why I want, like, her and I, all we do is laugh together. And so I'm like, you have to but she's pregnant. So I mean, I'm going to need some co-hosting abilities. Maybe you can come co-host with me.
Co-host.
I'm going to the whole time she's on maternity leave.
You should.
She just wasn't here this week and last week, but when she's on maternity leave, you should come back.
You totally have to do that.
Do you want to? Do you want?
I mean,
should we have a Hoda and Jenna moment?
Yes.
Oh my God, we're doing it.
I would love that.
Okay, it's official.
Totally come back.
Yeah, it's great.
That would be so fun.
All right, well, everyone, you're going to see Lindsay soon. Thank you so much for being here.
This was so fun.
I know it was so fun.
I love it.
And thank you guys for listening. Please don't forget. See, this is what happens. Like you get so excited and then you just like stumble over your words. Don't forget to follow the show, rate, review, subscribe, share, like all the things. We really love you for your support, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening. Behind the Lockbox is produced and edited by Property Showcase Group. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast. Thanks for your support. See you next week.